So before I get started on telling you what's going on here, which is pretty significant, you're going to really hate this. I wanted to take you out in the woods, show you the fall colors. This is supposed to be in my mind, I should say. A couple other people have told me this, but this day is supposed to be the best day for fall colors in Missouri. The 24th and 25th. Today's the 25th. I know you'll get this on the 26th. So I thought I'd come out here. The problem is I think you have to have a significant amount of rain throughout the summer to get really good fall colors. This isn't, I mean, there's still a lot of green here. Also, on the day that fall colors are supposed to be the best, it rained. It's really pretty on a beautiful sunny day. So, but I thought I'd bring you out here because a lot of people on the west like to see this. Of course, if you're in Virginia, this is nothing compared to what you guys get to see. A lot of you are going to hate this video, and some of you are going to want to close out of it before you finish. And I'm going to ask you to stick around. If nothing else, other people are going to want to see this video. And if you shut out on this video before it's finished or play it really, really fast, YouTube is not going to promote it. And then if YouTube asks you, how do you like this video? A lot of you are going to say, oh, I hated it. And so people who want to see this video aren't going to get to see it either. But this is important information. So if you would, I would really appreciate it if you'd watch it all the way through. On regular speed. If you got something else to do, please go do it. If you don't want to watch this video, I'm asking for your support. Because this is, I think, critical to surviving, living off grid. Also, if you could share this maybe with some of your Facebook groups or Twitter or your X, whatever it's called nowadays, just hit that share button, get it out there. Maybe if there's an off-grid group that you are in on Facebook, share it out there. If you would hit the thumbs up, click like, I'd appreciate it. I know I'm asking you to do a lot of things and YouTubers are not supposed to do that. And then finally, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. That'll help out the algorithm. All those things help out the algorithm to know that you are wanting to watch this video. As you know, there are a lot of aspects of living off grid that men think is wussy. If you're not sitting behind your desk with a microphone that doesn't work, talking about how great you are, and then you're a wussy. I mean, I'm not 7 foot tall, so that makes me a wussy. Of course, I don't have a beard, and that's not any offense to people who have beards. I'm just saying that a lot of people who have beards seem to think that all men have to have beards. I think it's extra effort and a sign of grooming. I don't know. I've always shaved. I was in the military. Shaving was a thing. But I've been called wussy many times, except they take the W out and put a P in. Like I was talking to Carolyn yesterday about men. I don't let things get to me too bad. I don't drink, I don't do drugs. I kind of face life head on. If somebody is challenging me, I don't back down. I don't run away. I'm thinking, I'm dodging. Might get me killed one of these days, but a lot of men seem to think that in order to be a real man, it's about physical strength and be able to kick the tar out of the other guy. Well, that's fine. I mean, if you think like an ape, I guess that's fine. But these guys are the same ones, I'm gonna kill you, that can't come home at night without drinking a 6-pack or 12-pack or a 24-pack or everything they got at the store. Of course, you know they got to do the stuff. I don't do the stuff. Never have. And a lot of people don't even believe me when I say that. I've never touched it. I stopped drinking years ago. I mean, I didn't even drink that much. Heck, I drank a lot in the Navy in my 20s, right after I got out of the Navy. When I adopted my daughter, I kind of got away from that. So, you know, being a wussy, that's fine. When it comes to actual pain, the mental stress, physical stress, a lot of these guys can't handle it. As a matter of fact, there was this one guy who thought he was just a real tough guy. Just tough, I'm tough. But boy, I mean, he couldn't even hardly get out of bed at sometimes. It was, oh, I'm hurting, my back hurts, my brain hurts. Just crying all the time, but he was supposed to be so much tougher than me. In my opinion, what makes you tough is being able to do things that are kind of embarrassing. A lot of these men, I'm never gonna can, that's woman's work. I'm gonna use a smoker. Well, I'm gonna can because it's cheap, it's effective, lasts a lot longer than smoking. So that's what I'm gonna do. I think it's a good method. I don't care if you think I'm a wussy or not. When the stuff hits the fan, we'll see who's tougher. Obviously, I've kind of given away. Carolyn and I bought some pork. I think we bought 40 pounds of it, and I'm canning up 30 pounds of it today. Yesterday, I filled these. The reason is because yesterday we cut up all the pork into little cubes, and I filled the jar. We put it back in the cooler so they would stay cool. Not having a refrigerator, we have to make sure that products can stay cool in the cooler. So we take it out of the freezer, thaw it out in the cooler, and then when it's partially frozen, just enough you can get a knife through it, is when I start cutting it up, put it back in the cooler, and then the next day I can get a fresh start early in the morning, about 4:30, put them in the canner. So they're all filled up. Now, you may notice that in some of these I overfilled. I was deliberately trying to fill them full, really full, because as pork starts to cook, all that grease comes out of it. So the last time I cooked pork, the jars came out half empty or half full, or however you look at it. And there's the juice right here. So what happened was, is since they were so low, a lot of the lids didn't seal. Now we use Tattler lids, the little white plastic lid with a O-ring or gasket on there. They didn't seal. So this morning I've already done 2 batches, 20 jars. So 1 batch, 2 canners, and all of them sealed but 1. And sure enough, that 1 was just a little bit lower than the others. Now the problem with this is when you overfill them, corn, now I know pork, the contents in it get a little darker. Not really sure why, but it even says that in the instructions, that it's going to get too dark or it won't be visually appealing, but they still taste fine. When I did corn in the past, now I don't know, I'm sure pork will be fine too. Like I said, I only have 1 that failed. Well, no, it didn't fail. I should back up on that. All of them sealed when they came out. They were bubbling, but 1. So I tightened the cap, the ring, and it immediately started bubbling. So I'm going to explain how Tattler lids work, so don't get ahead of me and ask, well, why are you tightening them after they come out? That's just the way you work Tattler lids. So the first step we're going to do is I got apple cider vinegar on a washcloth, and we're going to wipe off the rings just in case I got some garbage on the lip of the jar. And this is all it takes. Okay, so I simmered my lids and my rings in simmering water, boiling water. I don't know if it's necessary, but I do it anyways because that's the way I was taught. Not with Tattler, but with regular lids. So now you can see this is a 2-piece component. So you hold it together and you just put it on the jar, and then just make sure that the ring didn't fall inside the jar. Now, I've been doing an extra step that seems to help. I think when you put the ring on and you tighten the ring, that when you loosen the ring, it can break the seal because the ring grabs the Tattler lid. So I've been using a little bit of lard on my finger and just wiping it right on top of that hot lid. And then I put the ring on. Now this is the trick to Tattler lids. You put it on like that, and then you put your finger on and you tighten it until it spins. That's all you got to do. When it comes out of the canner, here's what I do. If the contents inside the jar are not boiling, then I tighten it. If it's boiling, we already know it's sealed because boiling temperature is less than 212 degrees in a vacuum jar. The higher the vacuum, the lower the boiling temperature. I used my little laser tester thermometer one time, as it was just about ready to stop boiling. It was at 120 degrees. So that's almost 100 degrees cooler than boiling. If you tighten it and it's boiling, you risk breaking the seal. So I just don't see the point in doing that. Okay, ignore the bacon. That's not part of the video. That's my breakfast. So I've poured 3 quarts of water into the canner. I've loaded all the jars into the canner with the rings and the Tattler lids on. Now, I forgot, I only had 9 jars filled. We didn't have enough to do 10 because the canner holds 10. So we got 20 jars filled over there. Those are done and cooling. 9 jars in here. So you got an empty spot. Well, you want to make sure that you fill that empty spot so the jars don't fall over and break. So I just put a blank in there with full of water. Now, if we're doing chicken or something like that, I will put broth in it. And that way I can at least use the space for something that we're going to use. I feel like it's a wasted space and we're wasting propane. So now I'm going to put the lid on the canner. Now, on these Walmart Presto canners, you got this ring in here. You want to take lard or vegetable oil and lubricate that. You're supposed to do that every time. Okay, so the canner is now on the burner. It's heating up. What we'll do is we'll wait for steam to come out of this little port right here. That's where the jiggler goes. Once steam comes out, then we'll count down 10 minutes. That way all the air is evacuated out of the canner and you just got steam in there. Okay, so it started to steam out of the little ports. So now I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes. That way all the air gets evacuated out of the canner. Okay, so now it's been 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and put the jiggler on. And what we'll do now is okay, so now you saw that this little tab, you may have saw, I don't know. But this little tab right here just popped up. So that means it's under pressure now. If you take the lid off, it'll hit you in the face. So now we'll wait until it starts jiggling. Then we'll set the timer for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay, so you can see that it's jiggling now. Now you're going to turn down your flame until the jiggler is just moving a little bit. This is about the best I can get this one. I guess the flame just doesn't adjust very well. When I adjust it, it pops up real high or goes down real low. So this is about the best I can do. But the reason you want to get the jiggler to just jiggle a little bit is because you don't want to evaporate all your water, that the 3 quarts that you put in. Otherwise your jars will be sitting on nothing. So I will set the timer for 1 hour and 15 minutes. If it was quart jars, these are pints, I would set it for 1 hour and 30 minutes. But check your instructions. When you get your canner from Walmart, the little Presto 16, it'll come with a book of instructions. It has all the ingredients for just about everything. So the pressure canner is finished. It's been under pressure for 1 hour and 15 minutes. So now we got to wait until that tab falls down, the tab I showed you that pops up. When it falls down, and then we'll take the jiggler off, and then you're supposed to wait 10 more minutes, and then after 10 minutes we can take the cans out, or the jars out. Okay, so the tab has dropped down, so now there's no pressure in the canner, so I can take the jiggler off. Now we're going to wait 10 minutes to let everything settle. Okay, so the 10 minutes have passed, and now I'm going to take the lid off, and we're going to take the can jars out of the canner. And hopefully they're all boiling like the last set did. Okay, so that one is boiling. The thing is that when I hold it up to the camera, it really doesn't show up that well. So I'm going to turn it around. Hopefully we'll get a spot where it shows the boiling. So that means that that one has sealed, which means I do not have to tighten the ring any further. If I tighten the ring, I'm risking breaking the seal that has already been accomplished. Okay, so we got 20 cans this morning, then we got the 10 cans that I showed you, or 9 jars, I would say cans. And then you can see that Carolyn has the remainder cooked up here, and we're gonna have that for supper, and then she's gonna cut the rest of that up, put it in the freezer. And that makes it kind of nice because we have a meal that we love. All we gotta do is take it out of the freezer, heat it up a little bit somehow or another, and we got an easy meal. So all the jars sealed. Now, if you've been with me for any time watching my canning videos, you'll know that I've really struggled to get these sealed. So this is a big accomplishment. We only had that one that came out that wasn't bubbling. As soon as I tightened it, it started bubbling. So I assume it's sealed. I've got it marked over there just in case. So I know that's the one that came out not bubbling. So that's pork, and you can do this with hamburger, deer meat. The only one that I hot pack is chicken because I need to get it off the bone. That's just a personal preference. You could actually can it with the bone and eat the bone, because once you can, it becomes real brittle and soft. So if you'll click the next box, it'll take you to a video that I was talking about preparing for today. So I hope I can inspire you to can your food, because it's easy, so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.